Hi, I'm Dr. Mitch Harlan, and welcome to the Truth Talks podcast. Boy, today's episode is with a very, very dear friend of mine, Byron Berger. Byron, I got to meet Byron and his family as a patient many, many years ago. Byron took great care of himself, of his wife, of his children. And in that process, many times you get close to people, you become friends with people, and it takes just a little bit of a different turn in how you look and present with somebody. And Byron is that special patient for me and dear friend of mine. So I'd like for you all to be introduced to Byron Berger. Byron, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Man, I wish we were sitting here talking about the new Lamborghini that you just purchased, but we're not.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And you know me, we've known each other a long time. I'm a crybaby by heart, but you know what? Life is real, and we're going to get super real. You and I had discussed this. You've been diagnosed with cancer.
Yes, sir.
We discussed doing a show for you so that your loved ones, people who know you, all that good stuff, get to carry a memory for a long time. But let's not make any bones about it. You know, we're still praying for miracles. We're still praying that we got a whole lot of years to live. But on the same token, we're sitting here doing this today so that anybody that's in this situation or anybody that we know, we get a prayer warrior team, but we also get to kind of jump into the life of Byron Berger. So let's start this out. Known each other a long time.
Yes. You've been taking care of us for a long time.
For a long time.
Fixing me every time I get broke.
I wish I could fix it right now, man. I'd give anything if I was able to do that. Let's tell the audience a little bit about what we're talking about here, about your diagnosis and when it all happened. Give us a little bit of a timeline with that.
Well, it really came on very suddenly, but it started out, I had a lot of hip pain, and we thought it was sciatica. So we went to several doctors. And finally, I think the third one we went to finally listened to what we were telling them about and some of the symptoms. And then they sent us up to get a brain scan. So we went up to probably 45 minutes from here to another place to get the brain scan done. And so she told us to go home and she would call us with the results. So when we got home, she called and said that Carol needed to take me to the emergency room. And so when we got there, they met with us and basically they told me that I had brain tumors. So they said there was about 10 to 12, with the largest one being about the size of a thumbnail. So they had me in the hospital for a week, doing all kinds of tests and x-rays and all that stuff. And basically they found out that I have esophageal cancer, which is anesthetized to my brain and also to my liver. So that's kind of the battle I'm fighting right now.
What treatments are they doing, and what did they say your prognosis was?
They can start with chemo and the radiation, but with the radiation, they can pretty much guarantee that one of the side effects is I won't remember anybody. So I have neuropathy, and they said that would probably be 10 times worse. So I opted not to do any of the lifesaver time adding things because it really didn't add that much time. And I figured I wanted to be as coherent as I could for as long as I could to spend the time with my family and friends.
So what's the first thing that goes through your mind when you hear that?
We came down here. I mean, this was probably one of the biggest things I've ever done. Was I lived in Colorado for 69 years, and we ended up down here in a little place called Hope Hole, Alabama. And so we're kind of rural. I got 7 acres. I got a pond. I call it my little piece of paradise. And it's just a very peaceful and awesome place to be. And in the process, come down here, we've met and started in the church. And the pastor is just wonderful. And she has really helped me reaffirm my faith. And I know that basically I'm in God's hands, and I'm going where he's taken me. And I'm good with that. I'm very peaceful, and I'm not mad at anybody. I don't blame anybody. This was my path to take, and like I said, coming down here, I've just kind of been going through a journey, and it's been a good journey.
I remember when you were leaving here, and we had our last appointment, and shared a bunch of good words and all that, and I knew when you were going down there, and then I get a message, and I read that message, and I had to sit back for a minute. I was like, wait, this can't be happening, right? Like that's not supposed to happen. It's not supposed to happen to anybody, but when it happens to somebody that's close to you, it stunned me for a minute. I had to sit back and think of all the people, and I think about this sometime. I'm thinking of all the people, the best father, the best husband, the happiest guy in the world, the most peaceful guy in the world. Why him? Did you have any of that?
I really didn't. I mean, even from the very first, when they told me I had brain cancer, it was like, okay, well, we'll see what transpires and what they had to say. And, I told Carolyn, I said, I really we need to sit down and talk and make our decision. I said, this is going to be our decision to make. And she said, well, yes, but it's mainly your decision and how you want to live this out.
What did they tell you? Did they tell you with treatment, how long, and without how long?
Well, basically they said, I might have a few months, and with treatment, maybe a few more. But then I figured to spend the time going through the treatments and, just give me a few more that I would have dementia and the worst neuropathy I could think of, and, be sick. And so it was a very easy decision for me to make.
How did the girls handle it?
It was a little hard at first, but I think they've come to realize that, this is what I wanted and how I wanted to end up, and they understood, that, the sad part is, Kelsey's expecting. So I have another grandchild on the way that I won't get to see. But, I'm gonna write her a letter that she asked me to do. So I'm going to do that for her. And at least I get to see my other 4. So they're actually coming up tomorrow.
That's awesome. Why'd you want to do this?
I want people to know that death is, is all part of living. I mean, we are set on a path, I believe, with God, and we go on that path, and I know that he has been protecting me because I've done a lot of dumb things. So to get this far, being an electrician for 44 years, it could have been very easy to check out at any time. So I am at peace. I love God, and I know he's got me.
How's Carolyn?
Carolyn she's been very strong through all this, which has really been a big help. She's been my caregiver, and they got me on steroids, so my blood sugars are way out of whack. We're still working on that. So, but we got signed up with hospice care, and the nurse is awesome, and she's working with us, and so we're gonna get me straightened out at least for a little while.
What happens when you go to bed at night?
I don't sleep for real long periods of time, and my blood sugars kind of go up because of the steroids. But here lately, we're kind of getting them under check, and so I get up, and if I wake up, because I gotta pee a lot, but I get up, and sometimes I'll get up and read my Bible, or I'll put some music on, and I have these awesome shades that have the speakers right by my ears, so I can sit in here and play my music and just kind of relax. And sometimes I'll go back to sleep, and when I get tired, then I'll go back to bed and try and go back to sleep. But I'm usually up pretty early.
You're the epitome of men. You just took so good care of your family and worked your butt off and did the extra hours. I mean, how many times have we talk about that? I've seen you with job, and then you had the out of job for a minute, and you got back in, and we saw all that. And it is part of life. But when you get this type of a diagnosis, what do you tell that guy that's burning a candle at both ends, and frustrated when he gets home, tired when he gets home, doesn't want to, it's like, I can't throw that football, or I can't watch that show with you. What do you tell somebody like that?
I was that guy sometimes, and I realized that, when we did Young Marines, that was probably one of the best times I had with Kelsey. And just spending time with them, doing things with them is more important than my own personal stuff. And I hope they realize that I really tried to spend as much time with them as I could. We tried doing things and going places, and just really enjoyed my daughters.
Do you feel like they understand what you did?
Yeah, I think they do. I know Kelsey does because we got pretty close while we were doing Young Marines. So it was, like I said, we got to do a lot of color guards and, things that most kids never get to do.
What do you want to tell each of them right now?
How much I love them, and that I will. I mean, I hope that they remember all the good times and even, I mean, just there was some rough times. We went through some tough times, but we all stuck together, and that's the important thing here. We all helped each other get through the tough times, and that's what it all comes down to.
Do you want people, say a guy like me, do you want me to hit you periodically, message you, talk? Do you feel like talking to people? Do you feel like spending all the time that you have with those you love? How do you want people around you to behave?
When we moved down here, there's my best friend down here now. His name is John, and he moved from Arizona down here. And he kind of was in the same boat as I was. He's like, man, what did we do? But he has become my best friend. He comes over and visits, and he keeps asking, if there's anything I can have him do, but he's just an awesome friend. And it's good to talk to people. And I just like people to know how much God has affected me and changed me for the better. And like I said, I have been in so much peace, and I can't even, I would love to be able to tell everybody that I know God has got me, and that's the best feeling in the world.
A lot of times people turn to God in these moments. I'm guessing you would probably tell the audience that you need to do this way earlier in life.
Yes. It's you can never start soon enough. And I am I've always been a procrastinator, but I do know that when I came down here and being around our church family has just helped me grow leaps and bounds in my faith, and just really learning. Our pastor, she teaches from the Bible. So she doesn't get up there and give us a big lecture about everything. She has made me learn more from the Bible than I've ever learned in my whole life.
Yeah. I mean, it's the answer. It always has been.
Yes, it is.
You still pray for a miracle?
I do. And like if it's in the cards, if that's what God has decided for me, I would be happy to let anybody and everybody know everything about it, because that to me is a miracle.
It's true. I've had similar conversations before, and people are, it's often that question of why me, why now, sort of thing. And all of our numbers are going to get called. I could walk out of here today and it's my number. And, it's one of those situations where, I like for people to know that of all the interviews and things that I've done, God does seem to always be the answer. If it gets too bad, it's always the answer, right? And you're promised eternal life, not just life on earth. And so I think people forget that sometimes, especially if a card gets called a little earlier than what we would like to do. You still end up winning the game even after death. And that's the beauty of faith. It's the beauty of God. It's the beauty of all that. And it warms my heart. Of course, I knew you were a man of faith anyway, but it makes me feel good. And it actually makes me feel content as well. Makes me be able to feel content with you. And I hope your family feels that same way. It's my father's at end of life, and we want to keep him around forever, regardless of how he can get around and do whatever he can do. We want him forever. And we don't know when that day is going to be. It's going to be the worst day of my life with him and my mom. But that faith makes it a hell of a lot easier to absorb.
I totally agree. I mean, it's, like I said, this journey that I'm on has been so awesome, because I've just been kind of reminiscing and just kind of reliving my life over. And, I can definitely see the things I did wrong, and I've asked for forgiveness, and I can see the things I did right. And I had a good life. I really have no complaints. And this is just an awesome journey for me.
And I'm proud that I got to live a lot of the journey through you. I mean, I don't know how many years it was, but I've known you for a long time. I tell you how.
That was when you first started at Biggs.
That's right. Oh my goodness. Man, that had to be 20 some years ago.
Yep. That was quite some time ago.
I don't even know if you had gray hair then. I certainly didn't.
Oh no, I had more, and it wasn't this color.
One thing I want to do, and this is important to me, and I'm guessing it's important to you, but I want you to just go through each one of the girls and then to Carolyn, and even if it's a sentence, a word, or whatever.
Well, to Kelsey, she actually got married in our front yard, and so we had the wedding here, and it was a great celebration, and she found a really good man who we love, and he is a man of faith, and he goes to our church, and so he's just awesome. And I wish her all the best, and we're praying that everything goes right with her baby, and I know they'll be good parents. And for Casey, she's raising 4 kids, and they're 3 boys. So she's got her hands full. And her husband Brandon, he's come and helped us a lot, and James, I mean, both of them have been just great in helping with things around. But I love them dearly. My grandkids they just light up my life, just to see their faces, and they all call me Pa or Papa. So it gives me a really nice, warm feeling. And Carolyn, she is my rock, and she's been here through all this, and even through everything that we've done, she's always been strong, and I mean, we've been a team going through all this, and she takes pretty good care of me.
Always has.
And she'd always said, "Okay, you're going to Mitch." And
pushed you right in. Anytime you're complaining, she says you're heading in.
yeah, she says, "Yeah, you're going to see Mitch." So,
You know, I had my dad and I, we like to sit in the garage and talk about things. And I asked him one time, and we'll end up running this segment. I'm like, but how do you want me to feel when you're gone? And he said, I want you to just remember all the good times, those times that we had that were, you know, amazing and all that good stuff. But he said, I don't ever want you to stop living or let that for 1 second slow you down in whatever your dreams and your aspirations are. And I think that's, you know, we always want more for our kids. We want more for those that are around us. And I know you're that guy. And I got to tell you, it was a kick in the gut when I got that message. I wasn't expecting it. It totally come out of the blue to me. And like I said, it takes a long time to process. But, you know, on one side of me, there's the science, right? And there's the medical side. And but I do know that God is bigger than that. You know, there's an old saying that says there's a place where medicine stops and God begins. And I don't know what's in store for your card. I don't know what it means. I don't know if this was what it's supposed to be anyway, you know, cancer or not. We don't know. But I really wanted to do this for you because I think so many people get to an end time sometimes and they wonder, have they told everybody everything that they wanted to tell them? And if there's any good thing, which I don't think there's a whole lot, but if there's any good thing about social media or Truth Talks or the things that we do, I think this is one of the best parts of it.
I agree.
So how do we want to end this, my man?
Well, you know, I would love to you know, give me a call every once in a while and just kind of see how things are going. And, you know, I will be forever grateful for the care you took of my family and just the way you took us in. I've watched your family grow, and I think you got an awesome family. They got awesome parents, and you guys really done an awesome job with your kids.
I appreciate that. You know, God's always at the top.
Yes, sir.
All right. I made it through this without crying like a big old baby because I got that in me.
Well, I'm pretty close. I didn't actually break down and cry. I just kind of teared up a little bit.
That's what we do as men. And I'm not sure it's good, not sure it's healthy, but that's just how we are a lot of the time. But I think the best way to end anything is the simple words, I love you.
I love you too, Mitch.
I'll be in touch. I'm not holding out, you know, let's keep praying, right? See what happens.
Yes, sir.
I can't imagine what Carolyn and the girls are going through. So just on that side, I mean, I've pretty much watched those girls grow up from tiny, and you know, we've pulled them in as family here, and God, I mean, I've had crazy talks with your kids that I wouldn't have with most people, right? And Carolyn, you know, Carolyn, she if there's anybody's going to read me the riot act whenever she wanted to, it was going to be her, right? And you just have these special connections with people sometimes, and the Berger family was certainly one of them for me. But I love all those guys. They're very special, and I want to let them know too that, you know, I'm here for anything they need, and whenever that is, however that is, you know, my phone's always on, and they can always call.
Okay, well, we will definitely be in touch.
All right, my man. Thank you so much. We'll get this produced. We'll get you a copy of this and keep it in a safe place. It's always good to be able to see people, hear people, and hear the words, I love you. So I love you, Byron Berger, and I'll be in touch.
Love you, Mitch.
All right, my man.